Hello and welcome to the Dublin Arsenal Review Show. I'm your host, Jonathan Giles. On the show tonight, Monday, December 8th, I'm joined by show regulars Eamonn Donnelly and David Sims to debate and analyse our 2-1 away defeat to Aston Villa on Saturday midday. And remember to check out our supporters club bar, the River Bar, where you can catch all the action for the rest of the season. So please come in and join. The next match up is, of course, on Wednesday against Club Brugge at 8 p.m. in the Champions League on match day 6. Until then, enjoy the show for the next half hour or so. First things first, I'm joined by my regular guests, as I said. First of all, to Eamon Donnelly. How are you, pal?
Yeah, evening, Jonathan. Evening, David. A friend of
David.
mine there became a mime artist. I haven't heard from him since. He used to be a pantomime horse, but he quit while he was ahead. So there you go. So now I'm all right.
He did say he'd come up with a cracker at the start, and he
Yeah,
certainly lived up to your word,
Christmas
Eamon.
cracker.
Great to have you along, Eamon, as always. I'm also joined by David Sims. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here might be over, but David certainly isn't. He's staying in for the long haul. How are you, David?
No, I'm deep in the jungle. Yeah, I'm good. It's 34 degrees here, humid as hell. A monkey will jump through and probably steal my banner in a minute. But all good. Everything's good.
Great to have you along, as always,
So
David.
long as it's not an anaconda.
I'm not saying anything.
As long as he doesn't disturb us for this next 30 minutes, you're free to go then, David. Just before we start the show, I'd just like to thank everyone who turned up for our supporters club Christmas party on Saturday. There was a great buzz, even though it was an early kickoff. There was a great buzz there, great spot prizes, great raffle prizes, and great company and laughs. Eamon, it was a top day, wasn't it? Regardless of being an early kickoff
It
and a
was,
defeat.
but I'm making an application for the club not to have any more, Jonathan. Because we haven't won a bloody game on any of the Christmas party days in living memory, you know. You should have it in August.
Martin Stunville, are you listening?
Yeah,
Stick that down in your sticky notepad for next December. No, but it was a great turnout, Damien, wasn't it? It was
it was
a great
superb.
day. Yeah,
Great credit to the committee for putting it together, you know.
yeah, and a great.
Myself excluded because I made no contribution whatsoever. Um, but it was great. It was a superb job. Well done.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well done to Martin Stoneville, Derek, Sandra, and all the committee for putting that together. And as always, every year it's a great day out for all Gooners to celebrate the end of the year. So big congrats on that. And well done to all the people who won the spot prizes as well, especially the Dennis Bergkamp signed jersey. I say that will be going up on the wall, I'm sure, over the next few days. But in terms of our match review, of course, as always, 2-1 defeat away to Aston Villa at Villa Park. Matty Cash after 36 minutes and Emi Bendia in literally the last kick of the game in the 95th minute got Villa the winner. Leo Trossard after 52 minutes got ourselves back and 1-1 at the time. Team lineup for Arsenal on the day: David Ray in goal, Calafiori, Hincapié, Timber and White at the back. Rice, Subamendi, Odegaard midfield, and our forward line consisted of Eze, Marino and Saka. Off the bench for ourselves came Miles Skelly, Leo Trossard, who came off and then went off, or Gabby Martinelli, Victor Gyökeres and Annie Madweke made up the Arsenal lineup. For the villains, Martinez in goal, Matson, Konza, Torres, Cash at the back, Onana, Kamara in midfield, Rogers, Tielemans, McGinn, and up front, Ollie Watkins. Their subs, of course, Emi Buendia, Malin, Sancho, Lindelof, and Bogart came on for the villains. Defeat on Saturday brought an end to our 18-game unbeaten run in all competitions, which dated back to September the 13th when we bet Nottingham Forest at home, right up to December 3rd, which was a midweek game and was at that game against Brentford when we won 2-0. Quite an unbeaten stretch. The worrying factors, really, myself and Aim were talking at half time about this: the loss of Gabriel and Salib at the back. You know, just to have that kind of leadership. But I think it wouldn't be too harsh on Hincapié and Timber. on Saturday, I thought they've done a decent job, particularly in Capier over the last few games. I've been really impressed with. So, I think the 4 games in the in the 8 days took its toll. You could see we were very tired. But the positive side of this was Martin Odegaard came back, done fairly okay in midfield as always, and was unlucky in the 69 minute not to have a goal. Emi Martinez made a great stop to tip it over the bar. In terms of the 2 goals for Aston Villa, myself, Eamon, and Sparky John commenting this at half time. It was poor marking at the back post by Eze. It just fell asleep. Wasn't aware of Matty Cash behind him. And in fairness, he took his goal really well through the legs of Raya. I'm sure Raya would be a bit disappointed, but he had a great game atop Matty Cash, and he had an early warning sign as well early in the first half that David Raya saved as well. So that was the warning shot there. The second goal, of course, it was just a mess really in the box. We had 2 chances to really clear it, couldn't get rid of it, and when the ball fans to Benjia, he can fairly smashed him in, and he curled it up past Raya, who had no chance. Raya made top stops in the match from Ollie Watkins and from a few others. In terms of our own goal, Bukayo Saka, the cross from the right was tipped away by Martinez, and Trossard was there at the back post, and I thought that might have given us, the push to go on to win it. We did have a few chances to win it, but I would have taken a draw. We did say we would have taken a draw at Villa Park. Emery's teams are very tough to beat. He's got a real grudge against us since being let go. But I'm going to come on to yourself, David. Your analysis from Saturday's defeat?
Well, it was a hard watch, wasn't it? I mean, but I think in your opening statement there, you've just got to look at numbers. 18 games undefeated. Let's look at that as an example of the consistency that we've shown as a team and as a squad. We've had lots of injuries. I mean, I'm not going to moan. I'm not going to cause any excuses here. But look at the facts. We're still top of the league. We're still 2 points clear. It's still in our hands. We've had an incredibly difficult 2 weeks. I mean, the games we've played have been unbelievable. Yeah. Other teams will go through games like that. They'll go through weeks like that, but we've gone through ours. Regarding the game itself, it was great to see Odegaard back. Great to see him shooting from distance. Thought Saka was, again, great. Absolutely wonderful, considering he was booed every time he kicked the ball for some reason by the Villa fans. I do not know why. But the changes, which have been well documented to the back line, the guys did all right. The guys did all right. They're coming in. I mean, Timber was playing as he does in his, centre back, which he does for the Netherlands position. Ben White, second game back, looks solid. The overlap with Saka definitely works. There's a definitely connection there. I mean, we were just unlucky not to see that game out and come away with the point. I mean, it was just the manner of it. We've done it to plenty of teams over the last few seasons, one in the last minute, right? It's never nice. It's never nice when you concede. It's great when you're the one that's putting it in the back of net. Hikapi could have kicked that out right at the end. It was a real frantic last few minutes. But it's if, buts and maybes. Do you know what I mean? What I will say from Villa, and I agree with what you said, they're a team that have been very good over us. They've been able to get, the fly in the ointment, get amongst us over the last few seasons. And they smelt blood. 12:30 on a Saturday, they really smelt blood in that game. And they knew that, they looked at the team sheet and they knew they would have a chance. Martinez, again, he's got a big chip on his shoulder and he was outstanding again. I was hoping he wasn't going to be fit for the game, but he was. We just got to dust ourselves down. We've got a big game tomorrow night in the Champions League, got an even bigger game on Saturday. We can't be too hard on the guys. They have been working so hard. Rice, every game he started. Gokeres coming back, which is excellent. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But it wasn't nice to see, but maybe it was there was a reason for it. And maybe that'll come out in weeks to come. I want Eamonn to come in now because otherwise I'll talk too much.
Yeah. Just briefly before I bring herself in, Eamonn, how disappointed, David, were you with as a falling asleep at the back post? It was a quality cross from Pau Torres, don't get me wrong, but should you have been more alert as a, to be, knowing that Matty
Well,
Cash was
I
going to
will.
be.
Yes, yes, he should have been. But also, you've got to remember that he's been playing with a team which had just got the two best centre backs in the world at the moment in, and they've been taken out. So maybe he wasn't paying attention because maybe in the other games he didn't need to be that much
Yeah,
alert because he's got
fair
two of the
point.
greatest players that are the centre backs that control that defence. We probably, if Gabriel and Saliba will be there, they'd go, "Do you know what, mate? Get out of our what you're doing here. I don't want you here. We've got it
Yeah,
under control, right? Clear off, right?" So maybe it's a bit of that as well, where they're all, it's when you take out two unbelievable quality players out of that pyramid and you replace with also good quality, but they're not the same and they don't show the same respect within the team, then other players are going to come in and try and help out, and maybe they're not used to it, and maybe that's something. But yeah, I'd expect everybody to step up their game, and he didn't step up his game, and yeah, we conceded because he wasn't awake. But I'm not being too harsh on him because you know we miss Gabriel and Saliba. Hopefully, Saliba will be back for Saturday. That's all I can say. That's all I can say on that.
yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, but the difference Gabriel and Saliba make are huge. Yeah, um, Eamon, you were like myself. We watched this in the River Bar. Um, your analysis of the match, Eamon?
Well, just take a step back. I mean, just to build on what David was saying. This season we played 22 competitive games, won 17 of them, drawn three and lost two. So if anybody's talking about a crisis, they're way off the mark, right? And we've done that, by the way. I don't think we're playing well. I don't think we've played well this season. I actually think there's much more in that team to come, and I think it will come, right? So that's, and when I say not playing well, I'm saying that as a positive. There's much more in that team, right?
Yeah,
Um, in relation to the game itself, you've got to understand. So three of our four centre backs are missing, right? Not just two, three of our four centre backs are missing, right? And two of those happen to be the best in Europe. Right? So it's clear to all concerned that we need one of Willow or Gabby at the back. You know, we need one of those, right? And I'll tell you what happens with that disruption. It's not that Hincapié or Timber did badly at all. It's everything. It's the positioning on the pitch. It's where they take up the station. It's the lines that they leave. It's what the midfield do when everything moves on a string in football, right? And having a rookie centre back pairing. I know Timber's not rookie, and you know I'm his greatest fan. But he's a rookie centre back in this Arsenal team, right? And I don't think Villa would have found spaces between the channels the way they did with Gabriel and Saliba. And that's no criticism of Timber and Ngapié, who, on the day were heroes as far as I'm concerned, right? So if you have Gabriel or Saliba on the pitch, we would have won at Chelsea and we'd at least drawn that game at Villa, right? But we don't have them on the pitch and we're still top league, right? And when I say I don't think we're playing well, if you look back, we didn't play well at Sunderland, right?
no,
Spurs decided to allow us to dominate them. Bayern Munich, we're playing very, very liberated in the Champions League. It's almost as if it's kind of like a free shot, and we were brilliant that night. We weren't good against Chelsea. We weren't good against Brentford. But I tell you what, we were good on Saturday. We got 15 efforts on goal, eight on target, away against that team that don't give away much. So just on the Eze, I actually think Eze is a bit of a conundrum now. And I'd be a bit harsher on him than David was. First of all, I was in a minority group of one who was actually lukewarm towards his signing in the first place, right? He looks to me like a player who he needs to stop living the dream. This thing about it was my dream to play for the Arsenal and looking up to the sky and all that. He needs to stop that now and realize he's part of a machine. And to be part of that machine, you have to function as part of that machine. And you said at the start, Jonathan, that he wasn't aware of Matty Cash. He was aware of Matty Cash. He had him in his sights. Oh, he absolutely had him in his sights. If you look at the still before the ball comes in, he's looking at where Cash is. And what did he do? Switch off.
Hmm.
That's
Knowing
just
that
not
he
good
had a
enough.
warning a little earlier on from Matty Cash as well, yeah. Yeah.
No, but it's not good enough. If you play for this Arsenal team, Arteta is very, 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 very high on be switched on, be switched on, be alert, be alert, be alert.
Do you
Right?
feel, Terry
And
Eamon, for cutting across you, do you feel his substitution at half time warrant was due to that? Arteta, would you
he
say?
was terrible.
Yeah.
Jonathan, he was terrible. And as a result, we brought on Trossard, who did more than 10 minutes than
Okay.
Eze did in 45, right? And three chances, one goal, right?
Mm.
Now there's a bit of kind of mitigation there on the basis that Villa gave us the ball for those
Yeah.
10 and 15 minutes, right? I'll get to that in a second. But with Eze has a wonderful skill set. I am not down on Eze, but the sooner he realizes and I've said this before, he's not a big fish in a small pond anymore. He's part of a machine and he needs to adjust to that. And I think he will be hurt by the fact that he was taken off at half time. And so he should be. And so he should be. It's happened to other players. And if you want to live the dream at this particular party, you need to step up. But look, he's a good lad, and I hope he'll come back stronger. So, um, the, I just think that if you look at the game, like the first half was kind of it was very very even, and one moment was the difference. Um, we had a chance. It felt that Ben White, and if Ben had been playing football regularly, he'd have buried them, right?
Yeah, you would have, yeah.
Um, but you have to remember how much football he's missed. And then you see the high press that Villa had, you can't do that forever. You can't do that for 90 minutes. You just can't. And Emery made a tactical decision to give us the ball. They gave us the ball at the start of the second half. We took over the game. We bossed it. We dominated it. And we got our equaliser. And this is where I think it went wrong. I think that when we got our equaliser, we should have tried to squeeze the game more, right? And even make it boring. But squeeze it, consolidate, right? Instead, what we allowed to happen was a game of chaos. It was like France versus Germany in the World Cup in 1982. It was end to end. It was a game of chaos. It was a brilliant watch for the neutral. It was described as the game of the season on the television. But we're not good at chaos. We're not good at that type of stuff. We should have squeezed the life out of the game at 1-1, right? It put our foot under our throat and then went for it then in the last 10 minutes. But instead, we allowed a game of, topsy-turvy. And that's very unlike us. So then we come to what actually won the game. And we lost that game rather than Villa winning it. Declan Rice breaks down the left-hand side with a minute to go in injury time. I want to see more from Gyökeres there. I really do. So Declan's on his left side, so he's going to swing the ball in. Gyökeres to me does not do what a centre forward should do and try and burst the gut over 3 or 4 yards to get into a position to make a connection to that ball. And I actually think if that was Jesus or Havertz, I think they would have, right? And
Yeah.
Gyökeres needs to learn about the elevation and level that he's playing at. Then it comes to Madueke, right, who I love. Madueke, instead of trying to shoot from there, if he gets that under control, he's just got to square it across the box and we win the game 2-1. Instead, we give it away, they go down and more chaos and we lose the game. But so that's my analysis of the game. But I actually think, and this is where I come to resonate with what David said, I actually think that might help us, right? Sometimes when you're going a long unbeaten run and you're not playing that well, you're scratching around, it becomes more of a relief when it's ended. And then you just hit the reset button and start again, right? And I think the anger from losing that game the way we did, I hope it's not a trend because Sunderland kicked us in the last minute as well. But I don't think I. My analysis is I do not think for 1 second that there'll be a panic button pressed. I think Arteta, one of many things he's very good at is channeling anger into energy. And the last thing I'll say, Jonathan, is if you said to me in August, right, that we'd have been at Man United, Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea, and Aston Villa, and still been top of the table coming into the Christmas period, I would have bitten your hand off.
Yeah, when you see the reaction of the players to lose the game, literally the last kick of the game, and the way they went down to their on their knees, and I think that will be the way. I don't know if you could say a wake up call, but you know, we're not going to be handed this title. That's for sure. When you're at the top, you don't expect these games.
That's where I think it might
You're
work in
there
our
to be shot
favour.
at. Yeah,
That's where
well,
I
no,
think it
I
might
think as
work in
well,
our
Eamon,
favour.
injuries has been, I feel, in Arteta's reign to date, his Achilles heel.
No, but
He's
Jonathan,
been
let me try and
fighting on
explain.
he's been fighting on
Let-
injuries. I mean, the
yeah,
injuries
but
have
let me try and
happened since.
explain. Injuries didn't cost us the game in the
But it
96th minute, in the
has
95th
it
minute.
has hurt us, aim, and
No, no, no.
let's all agree. If Gabriel and Saliba were there playing on Saturday, I believe we would have won it. You know,
Possibly so, but
yeah,
that doesn't mean like Arteta's a big he's a big fan of the game state. So the game state is it's a 1-1 draw which we would have taken,
yeah,
and we're on the attack, and your centre forward doesn't do enough to put himself in a position, and Madueke then makes a rash decision to try and finish a move that if he'd just got it under control,
and
then they go
squared
down the
it.
pitch and score, right? And what I'm saying about Arteta is he is so clinical on detail. I bet you that wouldn't happen again.
No, you can see his expression going down the tunnel. He was fuming, and rightfully so. Um, do you feel, Davis, if we had the likes of Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, that could have been different? Do you feel that Gyökeres, has he learned from the way we play, or have we learned from his style of play yet?
Right, regarding Gyökeres, I mean, he's unlucky. He's come in, he's come out, he's had injuries.
Yeah,
We've played some very, very difficult teams. It's his first season. Again, no excuses. We've got to give the guy a chance to shine and grow with us.
yeah,
And also, historically, we haven't had a big centre forward like him for a decade, right? As a club, right? We have to change the way we play for him, and he has to adapt for us as well. So, what I am interested about is there's rumours flying around already that tomorrow Saliba will be back, and also Jesus will be back and will be in the squad as well. Now,
I don't think Jesus can play in the Champions League. He's not named in the squad.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, maybe.
As far as I know, Dave, and I could be wrong here. Like, I don't, I get lots of things wrong. But from my memory was the squad they named. You have to name your squad up to January, and
Yeah.
then you go and name again. That because of
Okay.
the extent of his injury, I think they left him out of the
Oh,
squad.
okay. All right. Maybe
Yeah.
that's so. Maybe that's so. But anyway, I was saying as a positive, it would be I wouldn't want him to play tomorrow night because I think Gyökeres needs the minutes tomorrow night. I mean, I think it's a chance for him to come in. The important thing is to get Saliba back into that team and get that development and give him minutes, whether it's half time changeover, whatever. But we need to check his fitness and we need him back in the squad, not just like, oh, let's just not use him and wait for Saturday. If he's fit enough to play, he plays tomorrow night. Regarding Gyökeres, I like the guy. I think his determination, the way he gets in behind, the way that he gets in their faces, he's like a pit bull.
Yeah.
He's a player that we haven't had. He really does scare a lot of teams. They don't know what's coming. It's a complete different angle to Arsenal. Like I said, we haven't had a player like that for many, many years with that ferocity and that physical being. And it will be great to get him back in there. Listen, Mourinho is a complete enigma, how he keeps on scoring and he saves us our asses all the time. But there is not longevity there. We need to incorporate Gyökeres into this team and get him back to scoring and getting him developed, because he's a quality player. He's a quality player, and he's shown
David,
that
just to
already.
clarify it here, I actually agree with you. He is a quality player. But what I'm saying is that I'm just talking about the game state in the 95th, 4th minute, you know? And
Yeah.
if you do a still, because I'm such an anorak, I do these things, right? But if you do a still of when Declan has the ball on the
Okay.
left-hand side and just freeze
Yeah.
it, right? What
Yeah.
I'm thinking is I'm expecting more from Gyökeres to try and get in front of his mark. And he seemed to almost as if I don't know what it was, but Declan's always going to whip that ball across the goal, and I just think that yeah,
He needs to be
Yeah,
anticipating.
Eamonn,
He needs to be
Eamonn,
anticipating.
Eamonn, can I just say on that point, you're absolutely right. However, let's go back to the Chelsea game. He got himself into position. He was ready to bang it in, and he had the ball taken off his head, right, by an Arsenal player, right? And he'd made and that would have won us that game right at the end. It was almost the last kick of the game, right? But he had the ball taken off him. So he is getting in there. He's just come back from injury, and let's just give him a chance to shine.
Oh, 100%, 100%, yeah.
And see. And, but again, fine margins. We know this. It's a term that's used in football all the time. And it is. They're very fine margins because, Hikapi kicks that ball out in the last kick of the game, and Villa don't get the win.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there 3 points clear, and we're thinking, dust ourselves down. We're still 19 games undefeated or whatever, right? But it's not the way it is. And again, I think they'll use this as a stick to beat their emotions and beat themselves to improve over the coming weeks. And it hurts more because it is Villa. It hurts more because they were second in the league, and now they're title contenders. Well, let's see how that works out for you. But it was away from home. It was 12:30. We'd had massive games, not very much rest, with a squad that was hit by injuries, with changes. Again, fine margins. These margins were against us. So a draw would have been completely acceptable
But
on Saturday.
did you see where Rice had a real go at Odegaard?
Mm. He's the captain, isn't he? I mean, Rice is the captain. I don't care what.
No, hold on. No, Odegaard's the captain. Let's deal with reality. Odegaard's the captain, not Rice, right? And the players respect Odegaard. But Odegaard, what Rice was having a go on him for was not pressing after the Madueke incident, and that led to them getting the ball up the pitch. And I just want to put that in context. Odegaard was their best player on Saturday. He absolutely emptied himself, right? But and I'm actually agreeing with you, David. That's what the players demand of each other, and I think the word from that, it's not just Arteta will then do this, that, and the other. The players themselves internally challenge each other, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the hurt from all of the collective things that happened. Will make our players challenge each other to go on to better things, and that's the positive from the game.
Would you feel that,
And
Sergey? Do you think Martinelli and Madueke should have started on Saturday? To yourself, James?
No.
No,
I don't.
It would have brought something different.
I think Saka is in great form at the moment. He has the ability. His wand-like feet can score goals out of nothing, and his ability. And if Saka's fit, we should play him in a game like that. However, he shouldn't play tomorrow night. He should sit on the bench tomorrow for as long as possible. Maybe come on for 10, but but no, I mean, I think if Saka's available, you start Saka in all the games. I mean, he's a world-class player. He can score goals. He's amazing. I think Madueke can come on, and get his run around. I think Madueke can play in different positions, and he will improve as well. But just to go back to what we were saying about the passion and commitment, again, when we've got these players coming back, like Havertz is coming back, Jesus is coming back, obviously, we're going to have more pressure on, Gyökeres is going to feel the someone on his shoulder now, literally trying to get into that team. So he's going to have to improve. Havertz is going to want to improve himself to prove that he should be in there. It's this pressure that we had in the first few games of the season when we were all improving and we were bringing on these subs and they were just amazing. They were scoring. Trossard was coming on, scoring every time because he knew that he had to pressurize to get in the team. And this is what's going to happen now. Hopefully, some of these players are going to come back and they internally, as you were saying, Eamonn, they're going to start putting more pressure on each other to try and be in that starting 11. Very soon, we're going to be in 4 competitions, right? We've got the Carabao Cup and we've got the, FA Cup's just been announced. We're away at Portsmouth. That's a tricky game in January. And players want to play. And hopefully the squad will grow and they will all get their chance and they'll all start putting pressure on each other. And I think that is a complete positive.
Jonathan, the question about whether Martinelli should have started, I think he should have.
Yeah, I think he would have brought something different to the forward.
Well, I think he wouldn't have got caught for the goal the way Eze did. I don't think Eze is a left-sided winger player. He's more of an inside forward.
Yeah.
Right, and Martinelli is more outside, But look, I don't want anybody to think that I'm all of a sudden down on Eze. Will contribute loads to us, but he's got to learn the level he's playing at because he has the skill set.
Yeah,
he has the skill set,
and
his attitude is good. It's just that his concentration levels need to be. I remember he used to say the same about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. That if that boy could concentrate, he'd have been a world bigger, But there were times he went through games with, you wonder, what is he doing? He's just giving the ball away again, And then there's other times when he looked like he was unplayable, So just get a bit of consistency out of him. But look, let's not press the panic button. I was speaking to Dave O'Leary afterwards. He managed both clubs. And he just said, what are you on about? As I say, get on with it.
Just as you said, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah.
He actually scored in the under-21s game behind closed doors. A 3-0 win against Man United. Chamberlain, Jesus Chamberlain, and Delman.
He's got training with us.
Yeah. I can't see probably him signing for us, but yes, it's
he's not signing for us.
Nice to see Chamberlain getting back.
There's more chance in Neville. There's more chance in Neville
hitting this building than there is him joining us. Neville Chamberlain. Look, we have to understand this was a Villa team, a very good Villa team at the moment who had a slow start of the season in an incredible form, 7 games unbeaten.
We'll see them at the end of the month.
And we see where both teams lie at the end of the month, of course, yeah. The results still leaves us top, 15 played with 33 points. City now, 31 points. Villa third with 30 points, and Crystal Palace, incredibly, with fourth with 26. Ex-Gunner Eddie Nketiah scored yesterday, and Mark Yeye in a 2-1 win away at Craven Cottage. What Glasner's doing there is quite truly incredible, really.
I'd say he's glad he didn't go to Liverpool because he's now playing for a top 4 team.
Yeah. He made the right choice. He's a smart lad, Mark. He knew what was going to happen, and it's great to see Liverpool now completely out of it now. Mo Salah come to Arsenal, where your bread is buttered. I can see him gone, thank God. The way he's acting is disgraceful. Man of the match, lads, from Saturday. To yourself, Eamonn.
Me?
Yeah, go ahead, Eamonn. Man of the match.
No, Odegaard for me.
Martin Odegaard, hands down. Yeah, I think that 69-minute strike where Martin has tipped over.
It
was great to have him back, wasn't it?
Game,
Great to have him back. Yeah, you can see the difference he makes midfield. David, man of the match for the Gunners on Saturday for yourself.
Well, you can't see past Odegaard, can you? I mean, like you say, it was great to see him back. Great to see him commanding it. Great to see him and Rice having a little chat. It's lovely, isn't it? You want all that. I mean, I must say, when the game started and they all walked out the tunnel, I don't know if you watched that bit. You probably were on your 5th pint by then and maybe not paying attention. But
I wasn't drinking, mate.
Yeah, there was too much of a loving in the tunnel on the way out. It was all like shaky hands and kissy and and I didn't like that at all. That put me in the wrong stead. It was something that I just don't want people talking to each other, on the way out. It was a bit odd.
That sent you to the jungle.
Yeah. Mate, I'm in
I
the
don't-
jungle. Don't you worry about that for a reason.
I'd just like to mention the new book out at the moment before we finish the show, Arsenal on the Edge, story of the 24-25 season by Alex Finn and Kevin Witcher. It looks a pretty decent book and a decent read. I know Alan Smith and Adrian Clark were there in the Tollington signing books there last week. So if you've got a chance, get that on your Christmas wish list. Big thanks to
What
Eamonn
you need
Blondie.
is Jeremy Elliott signing the book, mate, in Birmingham. Say yeah.
Big thanks to Eamon and David as always. Catch our show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel and on Spotify. Jeremy, if you're listening, Eamon's your biggest
Cheers,
fan.
guys.
Top
Until
man.
the next time, let's keep getting drunk and support the Gunners. Till the
Happy
next
arse.
show. See you.
See you later.